Hi, it's Liz at Fort White. Welcome to Fort White Alive at Home. We're so excited to share this virtual programming with you while you're staying safe in your own homes. So stay tuned. Your Fort White Alive host is up next to guide you on your next adventure.
I'm Kim, and I'm a forest school practitioner here at Fort White.
Hello, my name is Victoria, and I'm also a forest school practitioner here at Fort White Alive. Today, Kim and I, we're going to go through some hands-on tips on activities and ways that you can take you and your family out in the winter outside, even though it's cold.
Winter can be challenging getting dressed. There's a lot of layers, but layers are important to stay warm and comfortable. So I have my pile of clothing and I'm going to put them on purposefully in order to show you how to encourage your own children to get dressed by themselves. So first, base layer. Hat, long johns, long sleeve shirt. Next, ski pants, because they're bulky and they're on the bottom. So you'd never put your mittens on first. That makes it really tricky to get the rest of your stuff on. Then your second layer, I've got a fleece here. And then, because I don't want to have my jacket on and be all bulky, I'm going to put my boots on next. You've got too many clothing, you get hot and itchy, and just makes it easier when you can do it in an efficient manner. These elastics are here for a reason. They go on top of the boots to help keep the snow out. All right, I am now ready for my neck warmer. Neck warmers are a great addition to keeping your cheeks and neck warm, and they're better than a scarf because you can help them just stay up over your face when it's really cold, or the children can also pull it down really easily on their own. Next, the jacket. And encouraging your children to get dressed with their jackets on. You can help them start the zipper. It's pretty tricky when they're little, but if you start it for them, then they can do the pulling up themselves. And last, mittens. And we're ready to go.
To make your outdoor experience a lot more fun, you can pack yourself a backpack from supplies that you have around your home. We, in our forest school kit, like to bring first aid kit, some hand sanitizer, some flagging tape to use as visual boundaries. You can tie it to trees so your children can have a little bit more freedom and use it as a guide for them to stop and come back when you call them. Some rope to tie around trees to make yourself a little spider web or a climbing apparatus, a swing, you can get really creative with it, a magnifying glass to see things up close, a book to have a little break and sit on a blanket, cozy up and have a nice little story, shovel for digging, some hand wipes, some tissues, and you can bring along some of your shovels if you have them as well for making a fort or some shoveling paths. So these are a couple of things that we take with us on our excursions, and look around your house and see what you can add to your own bag.
Okay, so we are going to give you guys some tips on what you can do outside with your children. If we go outside and we don't dress properly and we don't have a plan or things to do, we are more likely to be bored and we want to go back inside. But if you have a few of these activities in mind, you can go ahead and do them with your family, your children. Your children can be part of starting these activities as well. And one of these activities, and the first one, is working with ice.
You probably all have yogurt containers, milk containers in your home. So dig around in your recycling bin and pull them out. All we did here was fill them up with water, pour in some food coloring, and I even added little bits of nature to make these beautiful little decorations that you can decorate your yard with. Simple little containers like this, fill it up, freeze it overnight, and there you go. Comes out that easy. Ice cubes, beautiful ice cubes. So much fun to play with. A lot of play value here. Very inexpensive, very easy to do, very little time except for the freezing, and big play value for the children. These ones are maybe a little bit more difficult to unpeel, but you just gotta peel it off like that, and there you go. And you've got ice blocks to build with little bits of nature in. So clean out your recycling bins and get creative with what you have.
Sweet. And some other activities that you can do is now when it's snowing a little bit today where we are, but you could dive into the snowflakes and study them up close. So if you have magnifying glass or binoculars, or even just, you don't need any of that, you can just look with your eye. You can also take something black and put it on the ground or on the table. And when the snowflakes land on the black surface, it's easier to study them up close, which is very exciting because each snowflake looks different and they're all unique and beautiful patterns in them. Another activity you can do is winter bingo. So you can do your own with whatever you have in your neighborhood, in your backyard or in the park nearby. And yeah, who gets first to 5 in a row wins the bingo. Or if you want to come up with the rules by yourself, that's sky's the limit with what you can do with these.
One of our favorite things to do around the fire is tell stories as well as read stories. And today I'm going to read Brown Bear, What Do You See? The author is Bill Martin Jr. and Eric Carle is the illustrator. I'm sure many of you have seen this book. You might even own this book. It's a classic, and it has a very lovely rhythm and rhyme to it. So I'm going to read a few pages of this book, and then we're going to do something special with these artifacts that I have in the bowl. Here we go. If you know it, say it with me. Brown bear, what do you see? I see a red bird looking at me. Red bird, what do you see? I see a yellow duck looking at me. Yellow duck, what do you see? I see a blue horse looking at me. So that's the rhythm of the book. And now we're going to add some nature artifacts. Are you ready, Victoria?
I'm ready. And these artifacts you can find maybe in your neighborhood or in your backyard, or even when you're on a walk and you see them. So it doesn't have to have things that you can take with you. It can just be things that you see around you.
All right, here we go. Pine cone, what do you see?
I see a
Rabbit fur looking at me. Rabbit fur, what do you see? I see an antler looking at me. Antler, what do you see? I see a feather looking at me. Feather, what do you see? I see a bird's nest looking at me. Bird's nest, what do you see? I see children looking at us.
We love trees. They are amazing. And they're also super important for us humans, but also the animals that live around us. For us humans, it's important because they produce oxygen, which we use when we breathe. So from the leaves that they have on their branches, they produce oxygen. So that's super important for us, and that's why it's important to have trees inside the city as well, not just in the forest. And for the animals, trees are important because they are shelter, they are food, they can be storage for food, there can be their home, there can be the places where they protect themselves from other animals. So it's a very important part of nature. And let's not take them for granted. Let's appreciate the trees we have around us. And you can also get to know the trees in your backyard or in your neighborhood or in a park nearby by looking at the trees, trying to compare them to each other. Do they look the same? Are they from the same kind of families? Or are they from different kind of families? Look close to the bark. Look at the leaves, compare the leaves to each other. There's so much things about trees that we don't think about because they are always there and we see them every day. But if we look close, we'll see new details and new things about them that want us to learn more about trees. There are mainly two kinds of trees. There's coniferous trees that have the needles, and there's deciduous trees that have the leaves. So the leaves, as you probably know, do not exist right now during winter because the trees drop the leaves and fall. And the funny thing is that trees drop them at different times. Different families of trees drop them at different times. So you have the more cautious family trees that drop them right after summer because they do not want to carry them all fall. But then you have the brave trees or stubborn trees that hold on to their leaves all through fall and drop them late in October and November. And why do they drop their leaves? Well, when it snows and the snow lands on the leaves, the trees get extremely heavy and it risks of cracking its branches. So it's to protect themselves that they drop their leaves. And when it comes to the needle trees, they do not drop their needles in winter. They can keep it all winter long. And when the snow lands on their needles and their branches, they can bend it. So they're a little bit more denser that way than leaf trees. So they won't crack. And sometimes you can even see those needle trees just leaning. Looks like they have some back problem because they're just leaning there so heavy with the snow. But the good thing is that they are not that likely to crack from the snow. Another amazing thing with trees are the root system. A wise boy once told me that if you want to picture the system of the roots, just look at the branches and the top of the tree and think that that part is mirroring in the ground. That you have big parts of the roots, small parts of the roots, and it really spreads like a system and it connects with other trees in the same family. And the most amazing thing with that is that on the roots, there's something called fungi that grows. It looks like cotton and it's connecting underground. And through this cotton fungi, the trees can send message to other trees in their own family. So they can talk to each other underground. And this is where they can warn each other if there's a dangerous bug that will eat them up, or if there's a forest fire or anything else that they can warn each other of, they will send those messages. So that's really cool. If you and your family want to learn more about trees, I highly recommend this book, Can You Hear the Trees Talking by Peter Wolburn. And it's a great read and you learn so much more about trees and how they work and how they talk to each other and the big secrets that the trees have that we don't know about yet.
Thanks for tuning in and really hope you enjoyed the program. A big thank you to the Province of Manitoba Safe at Home Grant, which allowed us to bring you these virtual programs. Make sure you check out fortwhite.org for a lot more programs and activities. See you again soon.